Hello everyone, and welcome to this review of sorts of the Boxing Day episode of EastEnders from 1989. Now, the reason that I've chosen to take a look back at this particular episode is because when I watched it recently on the repeats, I found it utterly cringe-inducing, over the top and corny, and these are of course things I just can't get enough of. Now, 1989 was a difficult year for the show because the original creators Julia Smith and Tony had recently left and the reins were handed over, and it wasn't the best content.
Give me that!
So let's all sit back and see exactly what went down on this explosive Boxing Day episode. The episode begins with letters being delivered through the square, asking people to meet up in the square gardens by 3 p.m. And oh boy, don't you worry, this is just the beginning. The episode is trying, badly may I add, at setting this whole thing up a bit like a poorly thought out episode of Murder, She Wrote, with some red herrings planted throughout, like Diane walking around with white paper clutched close to her and not really telling anyone what she's doing.
What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
Well, what's the big secret?
No secret. This is the only place where I'd get some peace.
And we also have Michelle having sort of secret chats with nurses when she's visiting Pauline in hospital.
What was all that about?
What?
All that business with the nurse.
I was talking to her, that's all.
Yeah, but what about?
Oh, you know.
No, I don't know, Shell.
And can I just point out right here that Pauline Fowler, of all people, is going to be the only person who demands a fresh bowl of fruit by her side. Now, 3 o'clock has appeared and we have Pete and his highly annoying new girlfriend from New Zealand called Barbara getting involved with the treasure hunt, along with, again, Kathy and her, again, highly annoying new boyfriend, Laurie. These are both new characters introduced under this awful year that was 1989, and thus begins the heartwarming treasure hunt storyline. Dopey Trevor finds the first clue about Van Gogh, and let's just take a break here and listen to this seamless voiceover insert by Kathy, helping explain everyone exactly what's going on.
What's the point of having a treasure hunt?
You get clues, and whoever works them out first wins something.
What? Well, it doesn't.
Now, things are clearly getting quite serious because they've all gone off into different groups and Kathy's popping on her leather gloves. Thank God we have the well-placed new girl in London who is able to work out the clue by having the London Underground explained to her by her fella Pete.
Washing line?
It's hardly straight, is it?
Well, the central line's pretty straight.
What's that?
You know, part of the tube system, part of London's underground.
All right. Yeah, that's it.
What?
Central line.
Yeah, but it don't run through Walford.
No, but some line does, doesn't it? And it's straight.
Yeah, it runs across Bridge Street and down Turbine Road.
All the suspects who could have planted the clues are sitting together in the Queen Vic together. We have Michelle, Sharon and Diane, all acting very nonchalant about the whole thing. So tell me, have you been able to work out who's behind all of this yet? We are also given the chance for Pete to show his ever so growing caring side when he comes across a homeless person sleeping under some boxes while he's looking for the next clue. And, you know, Pete decides to just throw a note his way, brushes him off and carries on with this highly important task of this treasure hunt being carried out. I guess there's nothing like Christmas spirit, eh, Pete? All the teams have strangely met up in the same place for the next clue, and we have an odd drawing of a footballer, and once again we've got Pete explaining English slang to Barbara, which makes her able to work out that it's a dustbin lid.
What, a footballer with a shield? That means nothing. Unless it means go down to Walford Town.
What does number 9 normally do?
Plays in attack, scores goals. That's the less he plays for Walford, that is. We call him a striker.
Striker. A striker?
Yeah, you know, like the dustbin men, no strikers.
Oh, that's it. I'll bet the next clue's in a dustbin.
Hey?
Well, that isn't a shield, it's a dustbin lid.
I feel like they're kind of relying a little bit too heavily on Barbara and her non-existent knowledge of England. The gang, if we can kind of call them that, are once again, for another unexplained reason, all together in the same place for the third clue, and this is a tape recording. Now, whoever did this surely has far too much spare time on their hands, so maybe that's a clue. The team of girls, plus Laurie, the annoying boyfriend, work out the next clue and rush off, leaving the dumb men behind. Now we have Sophia, who is overly impressed by her daughter for reading out a clue and makes her say it at least 4 times.
Where you began,
is not where you'll end, but for some soup, I must now you send.
I must now you send. Isn't there a drawing or something?
No?
Where you began, that was under the tree.
Yeah, but it's not where you'll end, is it?
There must be another clue.
Come on.
And they end up back right to where they began. And there are now carols playing, free hot drink, and mince pies from everyone. Just warms my heart. We get another suspicious shot now of Sharon and Simon. Maybe they're the ones who put this exclusive storyline together. And we also get to experience the strange B-plot of Trevor trying to get romantically involved with a 14-year-old girl, but we're just going to skip over that for now.
Shireen.
Here.
Me?
Open it.
Now, thank God Kathy has gotten this story back on track by finding a clue under her cup. Of course, it's an anagram and it spells out Pauline. So everyone rushes to the hospital to see her. Arthur then spills the beans and lets out that it was all down to him with the help of Michelle and Diane.
Arthur's treasure hunt. You did this? Yes, you see, Pauline was so down yesterday, I thought this was a great idea to cheer her up. Yeah, it was Michelle that did the running around, though, her and Diane.
So after all this, and in the end, every single suspect it could have been, it actually was. So what great writing that was. I really was full of suspense the whole way through. Back home, we have Ian, who actually has the audacity to suggest that we do this all again next year.
Brilliant show. Just finally Pauline needed.
No, it's Dad's idea.
We will do it again next year.
And this thus ends the episode, and also my hopes and dreams along with it. I'd much rather take an affair or a murder over Christmas any time over this. So there you go. Let me know what you thought of that, and if you have any fond memories of that episode, and also what other episode you want us to have a look back at in the future. And thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any content just like this.